In this video, I'm going to find products to sell on Amazon, and I'm going to do it without using paid software. Instead, I'm going to use a Google Sheet that I created to automatically take products from a supplier, such as Kmart, and find those same products on Amazon. I'm also going to use a browser automation that I put together to actually extract the product data from those Amazon products. So now this will take a while because I'm going to go through the entire process of doing this. And so you can always check the video to see if there are chapters if you want to go to certain sections, if you decide to rewatch different parts of the video so that you can focus on the different parts of the process. So first of all, to start off, I'm going to quickly talk about choosing a supplier in the first place. So now, if you have no idea what supplier that you might want to check for products, then you can use Tactical Arbitrage, which is a very popular Amazon product research software. And you can just go to their sites list. You don't have to be signed up on Tactical Arbitrage. You just go to their website, check their sites list just to see what sites they work with. And if you're interested, of course, you can go ahead and just use Tactical Arbitrage. But instead of using Tactical Arbitrage, I'm using my own tool, which is the Amazon Matcher. Now, let's say you decide to go with Kmart.com, for instance, and you don't have to use Tactical Arbitrage suppliers. You might have another one. But for this example, if I'm using Kmart, the first thing I need to know is whether these products that are on Kmart are also sold on Amazon. Because otherwise, I would just be wasting my time going through Kmart products that aren't even sold on Amazon. So the first thing I can do is choose a category here, and it only makes sense to choose a category that you can actually sell in. And a lot of those home categories are pretty much going to be ideal for this. Another thing to consider is the number of variations. I'll show you what I mean in a second. So what I'll do is I'll go to lawn and garden and just click on that category. Another thing to consider is your fulfillment method. Are you drop shipping? Are you doing FBA? So on and so forth. For this video, I'm going to focus more on if I were drop shipping these products, but you could apply it if you're doing FBA as well. But mainly I'm focusing more on drop shipping for this video. So these products would be ideal to drop ship because they're larger products, so typically they won't be arbitraged. And so what I'm going to do is start to look at a few of these products. For instance, I'll open this first product, and actually let me go back. I'd rather open them in a new tab. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and search these product titles. Now I could search them on Amazon, or I could just search them on Google, but since I am doing it manually, I can go ahead and search it directly on Amazon. And the main thing I'm looking for is that brand name. All right. The brand name is provided here in the title of the product. And I want to make sure that that brand name is showing up, Couture, I guess. And you see that it's showing up here, and it even looks like the same product is showing up. So that's a pretty good indication that their products are actually sold on Amazon. Now, I'm going to check another product. You don't have to keep it in order. In fact, it's even better. It's best if you go and try some different brands, because the brands pretty much, if you keep seeing the brands show up, you pretty much will know that the products will show up. So Greenworks, here's another product of a different brand. And again, looking at the original product on Kmart, not Walmart, Kmart. And now looking at the products here, I do see one that appears to be similar or even the same product. Okay, it looks like it's basically the same thing. So, I mean, right at this point, it's nice if I see some exact matches of the product, but I'm not necessarily looking for that. I just really want to get an idea of if these products are sold. Let me try something else. This product, which is a ThinkStar brand product. Now I'll take this one, search this one as well on Amazon. Did I close Amazon? I might have closed Amazon. Paste. Search. Okay, and this brand, what was it? ThinkStar. And not every brand is going to be on there, so maybe this brand is not found on there, right? But overall, I mean, you could take more time with this process, but overall, I'm quite convinced that these products from Kmart do also exist on Amazon. So now what I'm going to do is actually scrape the products from this page, and what I need are the titles, the prices, and the URLs, and then I'm going to bring those into the Amazon matcher. So now what I'm going to do is actually go to Instant Data Scraper and click on that Chrome extension. That's a free Chrome extension, by the way. And when you click it, what it does is it figures out how the data is outlined on the website or laid out, and then it pulls it. I'll just maximize so you can see it better. It pulls it into a CSV for a spreadsheet format in the form of a CSV file. So we see the URLs here in that first column. We see titles over here, and we see prices as well. We see two price columns. These are the final prices. These are the prices, the actual current prices of the products. So you can always do a quick visual comparison, so you make sure of which column, so you know which column is which. So you see 149, you see the 727 over here, right? So everything is good, and I can just click CSV and download. But I should mention for Kmart, and there are other sites as well that have this load more button. So if you actually want to scrape more products, remember that you, on Kmart and on some other websites as well, they might have this expanding kind of box. So then you have to keep clicking load more. On other sites, they have a page 1, page 2, right? And for those sites, and it's too bad that this site isn't like that, because again, I won't get to demonstrate it here, but for those sites, I'll just mention it. You would use locate next button, and then you would click on the next button. And then you would do infinite scroll and start crawling, and it would move from page 1 to page 2. But for this kind of website, you have to keep clicking load more in this case. All right. So what I'm going to do is actually close it and do it again. Now that I loaded more products, I have to close this and scrape it again. Now I've got 143 products, right? If I were to keep going, I would get more products. Anyway, at this point, I'm going to just, I think I'll just stick with these 143 products for now. And I'll click on the CSV download button and just take these for now. And what I'll do at this point is head over to the Amazon matcher. And at this point, I will import it onto this sheet. So this is here. This should not be here on this copy. So I need to delete that. Okay. So IDS CSV, this is the sheet tab where you actually put the CSV. So file, import, upload, browse, and then you'll see Kmart 3. All right, and you can just open that. All right, and then you'll do replace current sheet, import data. Okay, and now that's it. So let me explain that again. It's file, import, upload, browse, find the file, open. And at this step, it's very important that you select replace current sheet. Do not replace the whole spreadsheet. Replace the current sheet only. Detect automatically, convert is fine, and you just click on import data, and it just imports the data onto the sheet. Right? Okay. So now that we have the CSV, we need to get the data that's on the CSV over here to the supplier and Amazon data. Now you can actually just copy and paste it. So the easiest thing, I mean the simplest, I won't necessarily say the easiest, but the simplest thing would be just to highlight all of this and then copy and paste as needed. Okay, so you can do that. You can click the first one, Control Shift down, copy, right click copy, come over to supplier Amazon data, find the corresponding column here, which is URLs, and you could just do a paste that way and it will just paste those URLs, right? But what I'm going to do instead, because I need you to know this process, is I'm going to do a column map. And this is important because sometimes you can't just copy and paste the data over. In some cases, depending on how the data format is. So it's important to know how to do this. All right, so I'm going to zoom this in a little bit and show you how to do this. So this is like another part of the process. It's called a columns map. And a columns map is where you're telling a system to take data from a certain column over here on this sheet or on this table, right? A certain column like this column, and to put that data into another column on another sheet or in another table with this name, URLs. Okay, that's a map, okay? You're telling it where to go. So to set up the map, first of all, as you can see, I have other maps here that I've done. I'm going to give the map a name, and an obvious name would be Kmart in this case. And first thing I want to do is tell it, well, where do the titles go? Okay, or where did the titles come from, really? So this is about identifying where the data is found in the CSV. So if you scroll over, you see that the titles are here in this column. So you take this heading and copy it. You go over to the IDS columns map and you paste that. Okay, you paste that heading. So it's telling the system, go to this column on the IDS CSV, and those are the titles. Okay, the URLs, where are the URLs? Okay, the URLs are usually the first column when you scrape the CSV. So you just copy this, go to the columns map, and you just paste it here. The prices, okay, where are the prices found? Well, if you look at the CSV again, you'll see that the prices, okay, first of all, are in two different columns. That's because on the website, each product has a crossed out price, old price, and then your savings price or your final price. So make sure you're doing this column, which is the final price. So you'll just copy this one right here, go to the columns map and paste it. Okay. So that's pretty much the process of mapping the columns. Now in some more slightly, I wouldn't say more complex, but different situations, you may find some strange CSVs where the dollars are here and the cents are in another column over here somewhere. That might happen to you on some other supplier websites. If that happens, then you have to do the dollars column that has the dollars in it. And then you have to go find the cents column that has the cents in it. And then you have to put that for dollars and cents. But here, it's just one price. If they have the brand in a column, you can do that. And also, if they have the model number. Here's the thing. That's more of a thing when the brand is not in the titles. For this supplier, Kmart, the brand is already part of the title. So there's no brand column, okay? So there's no brand column, there's no model number. So that's it. You're done with this columns map. Okay, so that's a whole nother step that was just completed. So now let's move on to the next phase in this process. And now to actually get the data in here, we will use a import command. But first of all, I need to choose the map, which is Kmart. So I'm telling it, follow the Kmart map, use the Kmart map, and now import the data with import instant data scraper. Now, the first time you run a script on any Google Sheet, even when it's your own script, those of us who write code on AppScript, we know this already, but if you don't, you won't know. You have to provide authorization. Don't get nervous when you see this. People who haven't seen it are nervous and they think something's wrong. Nothing's wrong at all. It's going to tell you to choose an account. I just choose my own account that I'm using right now. And then it's going to say Google hasn't verified this app. Of course, they haven't verified it. Right? We've got millions of people in the world writing code every day on AppScript. They're not sitting around verifying everyone's code every day. Right? So that's just a given. Okay? Click on Advanced. It's going to tell you it's, continue only if you understand the risk and if you trust the developer. Okay? Nothing to worry about here. It's going to call it unsafe and all of that. Don't be scared by this language. Just go ahead and open it. Okay? You click on it. It's going to tell you that the global matcher can do all of this stuff, edit and create, delete your Google Sheets. It doesn't do any of that. Okay? It doesn't do any of this stuff. All right? Tons of people out there using this Google Sheet, by the way, already. I've been distributing this Google Sheet for a few years at this point, right? For a couple of years. So click Allow, and that's it. So you're in. Okay? All right. Now that we've actually authorized it to run a script, we can finally click a button and make things happen, right? We can finally click buttons and run the scripts that are attached to those buttons. So once I click the button, you should get results. Okay, now, you have to wait. You've got to wait a little bit for the data to come in. Just have to wait a little, and you'll see the data start to come in. So just remember, though, the main things, you've got to select that Kmart as your map. Oh, okay, there's a little connection issue here. Trying to connect. Okay, I have to wait for that. Okay, let me see what's going on. Let me just check it is connected. Okay, my router. Okay, just want to make sure my router is connected. So that was a Google Sheet connection thing. Okay, so here are the titles. Here's the model number, which is blank. URLs are in. It's still running the script, and we've got to wait for the prices. Okay. Meanwhile, let's talk about these. Once you do have a URL, under the URLs, you can actually open that URL using that first asterisk, right, under supply. And so you can actually, look at the products individually without having to go back here. All right, you can just open them up straight from the spreadsheet. Also, you can automatically do a Google search on the title without having to manually do that. So that will happen as well. Sorry, that's a bit slow right now at the moment, but you see the results coming out over there. And then eventually, okay, now we have the prices. Eventually, you'll be able to do an Amazon, open the Amazon link. Now, right now, what I'm going to do is go into the next step, the next phase of this process. Okay, we have the data, product data, supplier data, but now we need the Amazon links, the other half, the Amazon links. I'm going to zoom out a little here. All right, to do that, all we need to do is start the process. Now, I'll click on Find One Amazon URL, just so you understand what these do. That will find the URL and the ASIN of the current row that I'm clicked on. Any row that I'm on, I can click Find One URL, and it will find a URL for that row. Another important thing is the Amazon region. What region are you in? I feel like this should be on the right for some reason. So what region are you in actually? So you can go ahead and choose the region. If you're in the UK, you can change it to UK, and then it'll look for the UK domain, co.uk, right, or whatever. Okay, so choose your region. Let me know if your region's not in here. I think I got to all of them, but let me know. And that's basically what you have to do. Now, we're not going to find these one by one. That would take too long. So what we're going to do rather is go to Find Amazon Products on the menu. So now, a lot of people miss this little menu item I have up here, because I started out with all buttons on the earlier versions. Notice I'm up to version 3.7. So I started out on these buttons here. And then I added the menu item, okay, because there were just too many buttons. So find Amazon products, start finding Amazon URLs. It will start on the row where you are clicked, okay? And what happened to that Bing search? Okay, sometimes weird stuff like that happens, right? So let me start finding that again and see what happened there. See if that happens again. Okay, this time it went through. So sometimes something weird like that will happen. Just do it again. In that moment, it tried to do a Bing search and it, for whatever reason, couldn't do the Bing search. I don't know. So the way this works is that it uses search engines, right? So what I did is I'm scraping search engine results automatically through AppScript. Okay, so what it's doing is it's crawling through the spreadsheet, entering these titles into a search engine through AppScript, pulling HTML from those results, and then pulling out Amazon links. Typically, it's just pulling the first Amazon link that it finds. Typically, 9 times out of 10, that's going to be your matching link, right? I don't know if it's really 9 times out of 10, but it's most of the time. Okay, so what you can do now is you can start to look at some of these. All right, let's look at the first Amazon link, just to get an idea of what's happening here. And where's the original product? I know I had it open. I think this is the original product. Let's see, it's taking forever, but okay, I'm gonna just open it again because I'm not sure if I even opened it in the first place, unless I opened a different. Yeah, okay, it is that same product. Okay. All right, so here's the product on Kmart, right? The Cool Chair 62cc 2-cycle 3.5 HP gas powered chainsaw, 20-inch bar, carrying bag and toolkit, right? I'm going to look over here. The title, is always a big indication that if it's the same product. We see that's all matching, right? I mean, obviously the image, right? We look at the image, we look at what comes with it in that image. Images aren't always exactly the same as the supplier, but we do often expect to see some of the same images, of course, right? Appears to be the same product. We can even look at some of the images. Other images here on Kmart, like installation steps. We can see similar images potentially on Amazon. Installation steps. We can compare that image, right, to this image. So the thing is, especially when I'm not using paid software, I really want to do a manual inspection because I'm not using barcodes or anything like that, right? So I'm really, going to check out the title and the images and conclude that these are in fact the same product, right? Now, that doesn't mean that the product's going to be profitable, right? But remember, there's a whole long list of products that we can check, okay? But we're not going to check these products individually yet, okay? Or look at any products individually. What we want to do next, the next major step we will go into, and I'm going to zoom out again. Control minus on my keyboard to zoom out. The next major step is to get the Amazon data in here. Now, it used to be that you either had to use software such as Keepa, upload the ASINs, and you can still do that, by the way. I have that function still here. So you can use Keepa, that's paid software, to pull product data from the Amazon ASINs and then import that data into the sheet. However, thanks to browser automation and a free platform called Automa for creating and running browser automations, I was able to actually create a browser automation that will read the ASINs from this Google Sheet, and actually from any Google Sheet, and pull the product data, certain product data, front-end data, such as titles and prices, and it'll actually print that data directly into the Google Sheet. Okay, so that's what we're going to do right now. So now, you're going to download Automa. Check the description of this video. I have all the links that you need. You're going to download Automa, which is free. And when you get it downloaded, all right, you're going to run it from here. You're going to click this button up here, and it's going to open it here. Okay, this desktop, like the desktop application of it. And from there, you can run, well, first of all, when you get the Google Sheet, I have a link for that as well for you to get this Google Sheet. When you get the Google Sheet, I'm also going to be sending you a file. And what you'll do is you'll click on the plus sign and you'll go, okay, to add a workflow. You'll click this arrow and then you'll go to import workflow. When you go to import workflow, you will be able to browse and choose a file. And you will use the file, okay, that I've sent you. Okay. For other browser automations I've created, I have a link for that. And they actually are on the Automa website. And those you can search for, or you can just go straight to my Automa page, which I have a link for that as well. Just check the video, okay? Now, let's go ahead and get this process started. First of all, you will need, once you get the workflow, as it's called, up, you will need to go to the trigger and go to parameters so that you can fill in. Now, you can do it when you run the automation, but so that you don't have to keep doing it, you're going to enter it here, all right, as a default value, okay? So, again, the trigger block, I'll just do it one more time quickly. Double click that trigger block, or, oh, it's open already. And then parameters. Okay, it's actually a single click, not a double click. And then take the sheet URL, meaning the entire URL of your spreadsheet, copy it back, whoops, to the automation. That is your sheet URL. Okay, that's for input purposes. And then the spreadsheet ID, which technically this is for output purposes. Okay, I could explain a little more about that, but basically I just want to get this started. So the spreadsheet ID is right here inside of the entire URL between those slashes and the word edit. So you don't want to have to keep doing this every time you run it, okay? Because it's annoying, right? Okay, and that's why I'm providing it open source, so you can just, you know, change these defaults, okay? Now that's done, you click save. So now that's going to be saved in there. When you click parameters, it's there already. Okay, now I'm going to come back, but there's an important detail in this, right? I just want to see. Okay, this actually was able to get to the end. So I'm just going to dismiss that. Okay, there's another thing, which is that the document has to be shared. Right, so I'm going to click on share. And now Automa, not me, Automa needs to access your document. When you run Automa, it runs from your desktop, but when it goes into the browser and it goes onto the internet, it needs to be able to access your document. So you have to share it, anyone with the link, and you have to change to editor so that it can edit the sheet. Okay, editor done. Now you don't have to worry about, now understand, it says anyone on the internet with the link can edit your spreadsheet. Anyone, if you give this link to anyone, when it's on editor, they can edit it, right? But you're not going to give anyone the link unless you want them to edit your spreadsheet, right? So there's no problem here. You just switch it to editor, you click done. There's nothing to worry about, right? Now you're going to go back to the workflow on Automa and click on execute. I'm going to maximize this just so you can see it. The domain that you put in determines what Amazon website it will open the ASINs on. The URL, the spreadsheet ID, we did that in the defaults. The input column, this is where the ASINs are found in column L. I do want you to understand this. Okay, because this tool is not just the matcher. The data scraper is not just for the Amazon matcher. So, you know, any spreadsheet, it has to have the column letter for that spreadsheet. Okay, the source heading row is 5. Again, looking back here, I want you to understand what these things mean. That's row 5. Start row is row 6. That's where we're going to start pulling the ASINs and put in the data for those ASINs. Destination sheet is the name of the sheet. What sheet are we putting it onto? Supplier and Amazon data. That's your destination sheet. Finally, where are we printing the data? Destination column, right? Clearly, we're putting it in column M. All right, you only need to state the first column because I have already pre-designated the range, how wide that range is, okay? And the automation, so you just have to tell it column M. Now, you don't have to do it because it's already set up. It's already in here. It's set up for the Amazon matcher, okay? However, and I just got to go off just a little bit. I just want you to be aware that I have a general Amazon ASIN data scraper that does the same thing, but for any spreadsheet. So you can see the description of my video to get access to this as well, the Amazon ASIN data scraper in general. The one that I'm using in this video, this is made specifically to work with the Amazon matcher spreadsheet, okay? So that's the one that you use with the matcher. Anyway, okay. Once you open this, now you just click run. And what it will do first is it will actually open up the Google Sheet, which is the Amazon matcher sheet that we are on. And what on earth is this? Okay. All right. Just reload that. Okay. Just reload that. This is an unedited video. Everything's straight through. So fortunately, when things like this happen, it's going to be in the video, but it keeps it realistic so you can really see what's happening. Now, what I'm going to do, it's good too because you get to find out what you need to do if something like that happens, right? So one thing I'm not too sure about, because that did happen, is whether or not it was able to keep going. So you want to come back. In fact, let me do that again. So when you see something like that happen, like you disconnected and then, okay, you're not really sure what's happening, go back to the automation down here, Automa, and go to logs. You see that error? Okay, you can open if you wish. Okay, could not establish a connection to the active tab. That's because I was disconnected for that moment. Or the Google Sheet was disconnected, or Google was disconnected, right? Okay, so I'm just going to close that. It's kind of useless at this point. And I'm just going to run it again. So again, run and run. And that's not what usually happens when I start running this, but it happened this time. Okay, this time everything seems to be perfect. It's in L6 right now, which is the first ASIN. And you see it says range equals L6 up top. So the way I programmed the automation is I have it actually open in the Google Sheet and pulling the ASIN out of the Google Sheet. What that does is, and you can see now it opens up the Amazon product. So at this point it's copying the data. But the reason why I open the spreadsheet and read it is so that I don't have to use the read API for Google Sheets, the Google Sheets read API, because when you do too many API calls on Google Sheets too quickly, it kind of kicks back, right? And then the automation will stop, and then you have to wait and rerun it again, right? So rather than that happening, it reads the Google Sheet manually, but it prints the data. Okay, the data is printed automatically using API. Okay, so you see the data that just popped in for the first product, right? It just pops that data in using Google Sheets API, so it drops in fast and right away, right? Now this second product perhaps was just a blank or something was wrong with it. Maybe it's removed. It could be that product was removed from Amazon. I've seen that a lot. Where you open an ASIN and the ASIN's not there anymore. Okay, it's been removed from Amazon, so that might be why that one didn't work out. Right here we have a blank row. This happens when it, for whatever reason, it did not find a match on Amazon. So I don't believe the browser automation will just skip this. I don't think I programmed it for that case. So I think it's going to just try and then just hopefully move on to the next one. Let's see what happens. And I just want to make sure that you understand, the different ins and outs of this. Okay, so it looks like it pretty much skipped that over for the most part. It was able to keep going, which is good. Okay, now obviously it's going to take a while for it to fill in this data, and it's just going to keep going and keep pulling and filling in data. There's nothing else I could do until I get enough data to work with. So what I'm going to do is actually just end this video at this point, and I'm going to have a follow-up, a continuation of this process, where I will then go ahead and investigate the results that were pulled into the Amazon Matcher sheet. So thank you for watching this part, which should be the first part of the video. And what I will do is go ahead and link in the description of this video a link to the next video where I will continue the process of trying to find products. Again, continuing this process. So that's it. The main thing is to check the description of this video for links, to see links to get this spreadsheet, and to make sure that you go to the Automa platform and install that. And just check the description of the video. Everything's in the description. I don't need to tell you what's there. Just go ahead and do that. If you want to leave comments, questions, or suggestions on this video itself, you can go ahead and do that as well. Definitely like the video if you like it. Subscribe to the channel if you want to subscribe, so that you can get notifications. Also, be sure to check for my email subscription. If you don't do anything else, at least subscribe to get email announcements. And that's about it. I'm Mr. Mark, and I look forward to either hearing from you or seeing you around in the next video.